Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today we finally got the big announcement for the next patch for Helldivers 2, and that's going to be released on Thursday. And we got a little bit of a teaser of what's going to be in this patch, but we got hundreds of changes that are coming between bug fixes and just new features being added to the game. So it's going to be a pretty big, substantial patch along with the next Warbond. Anyways, why is it significant? So we're in a little bit of a weird spot with Helldivers 2. It's going through the natural progression of most games where a game comes out, it's super popular, and then it slowly dies off over time and the hardcore stay and people come in and out based on content releases. So we're kind of in that stage with Helldivers 2. It's not abnormal from any game that's released over time. However, Helldivers 2 has had a weird state of affairs over the past couple of months, starting with the PlayStation drama. On top of that, they had the balancing patch issues because people were not really thrilled with a lot of the changes they were making to weapons. And also the fact that the last couple of Warbonds have been pretty baked in most of our opinions because some of the weapons were just not operating as intended and they've had to go back and change. So anyway, they've been kind of rushing content out and the quality of that content has been very questionable and the quality of the patches has been very questionable. So Arrowhead admittedly accepted defeat and said, look, we're gonna slow it down. We're gonna retool some things. The CEO stepped down to a different role. They promoted a new CEO. They've also decided to release less patches. The whole 9 yards. So they've gone back and just really tried to take a look at how they're going to do things going forward. So we're getting a little bit of that vision now with this new Warbond coming out because it seems like a more safe Warbond because it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to the content, but for what they could have released, it's been pretty safe in my opinion. And then also with this patch, it just seems like they've really had a lot more meaningful direction when they're actually trying to make changes to the game. So anyway, just off the cuff here, what I'm looking at was we're gonna go through the tweet that they came out with because that's where they went to a little bit more detail because they announced it over on Discord and over on Twitter. So we're gonna go through this tweet real quick and I'm gonna give you some of my thoughts as we're going through it. All right, so of course in true Arrowhead fashion, we're given a meme to announce this next patch. So Helldivers, the next patch deploys on Thursday. So looking at the meme real quick, they kind of talk about some of the things that we're going to be getting in the patch, and they talk about how visible supply lines and attack origins are going to be added, patrols and spawn rates are going to be reverted, thank goodness, invite only lobbies, super samples at level 6, which is always nice, unlimited grenade fix, I didn't realize that was a thing honestly, but maybe it was, I just didn't notice. And then there's over 100 changes and fixes to the game. So you've probably noticed that we've slowed our cadence with patches. Similar to our future approach to Warbonds, this is so we can dedicate more time to each patch, reduce the pressure on our team, dig into your feedback more, and deliver high quality patches. Again, this is something everybody was asking for because look, we love more content. Every gamer loves to get more content in their games. However, when you're having to sacrifice the quality, it kind of defeats the purpose of the new content and the patches. We're very aware that going from quick, small patches to slower, bigger patches means that your expectations are high. While we think that the next patch is very strong with lots of bug fixes and requested features, we're definitely not resting on our laurels or being complacent. We'll continue delivering patches and content to squash bugs and evolve the game, and most importantly, evolve the game with our players and our community. We sincerely thank you for your patience and support as we made this adjustment. So then again, if you did miss it as well, on Thursday they're coming out with a brand new Warbond. You can see everything we're getting here. We're getting a throwing knife, we're getting experimental infusion, which is gonna be interesting, and we're getting new camos for your vehicles and the mech suits and whatnot, and it's just a wide variety of things, and that secondary shotgun looks absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to use that. So anyways, safe to say, Thursday is going to be a really big day for Helldivers 2. All right, so what are my thoughts overall with the current landscape of Helldivers 2 and kind of where they're going and their approach to everything? I mean, honestly, I don't want to overstate this because I'm trying not to like make it seem like it's doom and gloom for Arrowhead, because it's not. I think the future of the game is very bright. However, this is a critical moment for Arrowhead because, again, I don't think what they were doing was wrong. Coming out with content, focusing on building on the hype that's been centered around the game was not a bad idea, especially because they had way more player base. I mean, there was somewhere up to like, what was it, 400,000 concurrent players at any given time on Steam, which is absolutely ludicrous. And understandably so, they wanted to capitalize on the hype and they had a plan for Warbonds. I think it had to slightly change because of the hype of the game, so they started releasing things a little bit quicker. So we are used to a certain cadence from them. But again, personally, I've had this I've had this opinion the whole time, is I want quality over quantity. Now, I don't want it to be a Remnant 2 situation because I love Remnant 2, but they release content so slowly, they release patches so slowly, and they're massive when they release, and that's great. I'm glad for the level of detail they're putting into it. But it's just one of those things where I'm like, man, I really wish stuff was just released a little bit quicker. So I really do love that about Helldivers 2, is they're really trying to satisfy that live service itch that so many people have. However, again, when they're making quick decisions and not really thinking about it in terms of patches, I think that that's where a lot of the problems really started to come into play. Now, yes, of course, the Warbonds had some issues as well with some of the weapons underperforming, like I said, stated in the beginning. But yeah, I think really the crux of the issue was just the fact that things like the Eruptor came out and it was an amazing weapon and everybody loved it and it fulfilled a fantasy for everybody. And then it immediately got nerfed. Same thing with the Breaker Shotgun back in the day, it got nerfed. Same thing with the Railgun, and then they reverted some of that nerf and brought it a little bit back. It's just, I don't like the reactionary patches that they were doing to people having fun with weapons in the game or equipment in the game. It kind of defeated the purpose. What they should have done is just raise things up to meet those levels, but I digress. I'm not a developer, so I don't know how all this stuff works. I'm just a YouTuber making videos on a video game. But my point is that overall, just in a nutshell, just to kind of encapsulate this video, I am totally fine with these changes. They seem awesome. Adding the supply lines and the attack and the assault things is gonna be really cool to see on the map. And then as well as I'm really looking forward to seeing these 100+ changes and bug fixes that they're gonna come out with, because there are a lot of bugs in this game that need to be fixed that have been there for a long time. And hopefully some of those things get rectified, because the list is endless. I mean, it's out every time they release a patch of the known issues. And then I'm really hoping that they revert some things back to their original state with the weapons, because the Eruptor especially didn't need to have that nerf to it, as well as, you know, just some other little things just did not need to have the nerfs to them. So anyways, what do you guys think about this patch? What do you think about this Warbond? Are you excited for it? What are your anticipations for the patch? What are your thoughts overall? Let me know down in the comments below. But anyways, guys, I'll see you later in the week with the next video. Peace.